I am man enough to admit when I am wrong. If I am wrong, I come out and I say it. I was wrong. I take full responsibility for being wrong. I make sure and I own that. I'm going to pretend and say, well, no, I was this and the other. No, I was wrong. And I take full responsibility for that. And even though I did a video, even though I did a review video of The Flash, which I think was not a very good movie at all, the CGI was terrible. I find the story just wasn't making any kind of sense. The only thing I really liked about it was Michael Keaton Batman, Ben Affleck Batman, Sasha Cohen as Supergirl wasn't terrible. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't terrible. It was pretty much kind of forgettable, to be honest with you. I mean, okay, fine. I admit that. I say that. I admit that parts of the movie were a little bit interesting or something, but not enough to save it. Overall, I didn't think it was a very good movie. But even I could not have predicted how badly this movie would crash and burn. Honestly, even I could not have predicted that. I said previously that, I thought this movie was going to make some money, would have a little bit of traction, especially overseas, and I was very, very wrong. And like I said before, I admit and I own that I was wrong. Flash is bombing harder than anybody would have thought. This is probably the fastest box office bomb ever. Get into some of this information here. The article from Bounding into Comics. The Flash collapses in its second weekend at the box office with massive 72% drop. Analysts predict film will lose at least 150 million, and consider it. There's something like about 250 million they spent on this movie, and that's only what we know of it, because they've done so many reshoots, all the advertising and everything like that. That number could very well have surpassed 300 million, and they just wouldn't let that information out. But considering that, and for this movie to underperform so badly, oh my lord, that's not good. Let's continue. Ezra Miller's The Flash completely collapsed at the box office with an enormous 72% drop from its opening weekend. The Flash had a long road to hoe after its extremely poor opening weekend of 55 million at the domestic box office. Now, I did a video where they were actually predicting that it was going to make 70 million. It did not even, it made 55 million. So you see that it fell well below what they were predicting. And the second weekend was even worse. And it does not look like it's going to be reaping anything but losses following its second weekend collapse of 72%. The numbers reports the film only grossed 15.2 million in its second weekend, despite adding another 22 more theaters compared to its first weekend. The per theater gross declined from 13,000 in its opening weekend to 3,587 in its second weekend. That is terrible. That means it lost something like about almost 10,000. People are just not going out. See, you see, this is what happens when you decide to literally do this nonsense to yourself. Now, word of mouth is spreading, and people are not interested in this. Then there's also Ezra Miller and his whole debacle. Though, like I said before, but you know what, I'll get into that point a little later on. The film's second weekend, much like its first, underperformed predictions. Box office tracking website Box Office Pro predicted the film would have a 69% drop and bring in 17.3 million. The numbers predicted the film would only have a 59% decline and would bring in 22.5 million. The film has currently grossed 87.6 million domestically and another 123.3 million internationally for a global gross of 210.9 million. The film's biggest halls internationally are in China, where it grossed 24.3 million, and Mexico, where it grossed 8.6 million. That's not good at all. Especially China, only 24.3 million. That is not good. And the next biggest one is Mexico. That's not good. Comparing the film to other DCU films, The Flash is one of the worst performing films as it stands right now. The only films it outperformed at the worldwide box office are Birds of Prey, which was garbage, Suicide Squad, which wasn't done very well at all, Wonder Woman 1984, a movie I have yet to ever finish watching. I just can't get through it. And Shazam, Fury of the Gods, which was also rubbish. Now, Michael Keaton as Batman, as I said in my review, was one of the best things about this movie, but even that couldn't save it. And these companies need to realize the power really lies with the fans. If they don't want to go and watch something, there's nothing you can do about it. Right now, Flash is bombing harder than Little Mermaid. That's to tell you how bad it is. And Little Mermaid's entire marketing scheme was to tell everybody if they don't like it, they're a racist. Well, you promoted pushing Ezra Miller, a literal criminal, and it's backfired in your faces very badly. I mean, if you just look at the numbers for the Flash here, this is from the actual site, the numbers. Look at it. Domestic box office, 91 million. International box office, 123 million. You understand me? So worldwide box office at this point is 214 million, on its way to 215 million. This movie will be lucky if it even hits 300 million. So this movie is literally predicted to lose something like about probably about 300 million. If you think about it, because it would need to surpass for a movie like The Flash that they, and the thing about it is that they had so much time, so much effort. You had the head of Warner Brothers Discovery when I said that it was the greatest superhero movie ever. And look, I think only for that crap to be put in cinema. And look at it, it will be lucky if it even hits 300 million. And there are many people saying it's not going to do that. And considering the budget, like I said, the budget for Flash was about $250 million was the budget for Flash, which means that, and that's only what we know about it, because they had so many reshoots and all kind of promotion, all kind of, so this movie really, if you think everything about this, the reshoots, I think the movie could have easily made it to like 300 million. Plus you have all that promotion, all that Super Bowl, look at this, so you have to double that figure. So you're looking at something like about 600 million right there, 700 million, something like that. So this movie had to make something over like maybe 800 million to even break even. And look at it, second weekend going into the third, and it's at 214, almost 215 million globally. This movie will be lucky if it even tastes 300 million. It's a massive, massive flop. I mean, I'm not the only one saying it. Look at this website here. The Flash is now a box office disaster of superheroic proportions. Yeah, it's no secret at this point to anyone who pays even a little attention to box office happenings that The Flash has under-delivered against sizable expectations. To say that the DC Comics blockbuster is a bomb at this point would be a bit of an understatement. In its second weekend in theaters, the film absolutely collapsed under the weight of disinterest from general moviegoers, taking in a mere 15.26 million. It fell to number 3 on the charts, with Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse actually jumping back up to the number 1 spot in its fourth weekend with a 19.3 million haul. That in a nutshell is how it's going for DC's latest. Right? So that is what gets up there. The thing about it is that what's also beating the Flash at theaters right now? Elementals, which is another flop from Disney. Elementals performed so badly, and yet somehow Flash is even worse. Flash is even worse. This is a complete and utter embarrassment for for everybody involved in this. Everybody. And no, DC/Warner Discovery, what we want to call them, realize just how badly, just how absolutely freaking badly this movie is bombing, that they have decided to release it on streaming. A month later, DCU fans mocked the Flash movie's early digital release in July and short theatrical run, right? So it's coming out on July 18th. On July 18th, it will be available for streaming. But my thing about it is, I said this before, and I said I was going to talk about it before. I said this before, long before this thing even came out. Why not just put it directly on streaming and done? After all that controversy with Ezra Miller, you could have just taken the loss, put it out on streaming, and be done with it. But no, David Zaslav and them were absolutely convinced the Flash had to go into theaters, and look at the embarrassment that they are facing now. Let's go through some of the films. So, right, yes, the Flash movie is expected to be available on streaming from July 18th, as stated by the Twitter account, The Flash Film News. While there is no date unveiled for its Blu-ray release, the Flash movie can be pre-ordered 12. Sir, considering nobody wants to watch it in cinema, do you really think people are going to be pre-ordering that? Let's hear what a few folks who are surprised did not comment to the fold. Let's look at this. Because they have it come out on July 8th. Let's see what some people had to say. This one. Dude, a month later, I know we're living in a digital streaming era, but this is a new record. Disappointing that it's having such a disappointing and short theatrical run, but the good thing is I can watch the Flash in 4K at home. Okay, there's somebody who's positive about it, all right? No problem with that. Fastest home video release alive. A 1 month theatrical run, never could have predicted it would bomb this hard. Me neither. For context, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 releases on digital just 11 days before this and was released in theaters over a month before it. Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy has actually made some money because it had a poor first opening week. But then, like I said, word of mouth started to spread. Second weekend, it went up. I think now it's sitting somewhere in the vicinity of like 700 or 800 million. Nothing at all close to what the Flash is doing. You understand me? So word of mouth spread for that. Word of mouth spread for Flash, and nobody wants to see it. Should have just done day and date. We've seen this way too often this year, where big budget movies have extremely underperformed and have ended up going on digital just weeks after release. Yeah, because people are just getting sick of it. People want good entertainment. And next one, pre-order what? Do you really think people who didn't even bother to pay for a theater ticket will pay whatever to own this? Be grateful if they download it? Exactly. So regardless of whatever, the Flash is bombing hard, literally hard. I didn't see this coming, but I am not surprised after having finally seen the movie. It's not going to last, and now DC/Warner have realized the hole that they have dug for themselves, and they're looking to release it on streaming early. But the damage is done. The damage is done. Flash is the lightning that didn't strike with this one at all. That's it. It's a bomb. It's a complete and utter failure at the theaters. Complete and utter failure at the theaters. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, try to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell and notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.